coach and counselor explores how today's youth benefit from intentional, empowering adult leadership. Each episode blends perspectives from coaches, mentors, players, and mental health professionals, shaping the next generation on and off the field. From tough conversations to inspiring transformations, we dive into what it takes to support young people in today's world. All right, welcome to the show. We have Brendan Strait on the show with us today. Brendan has a super unique story that I'm really excited to get going on. Most of the time we have people on the show that are ex-professional athletes, ex-coaches in the college ranks or the high school ranks, people that have, coached extensively, played extensively, sports psychologists, counselors in schools, all the above. Brendan is none of those, which I think is absolutely, you'll understand why we have him on here in a second. But Brendan, welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, going back to that. So 90% of all people that play a sport in high school do not play in college. So, the other people that we have on these podcasts are the minority, and Brendan is the majority. So let's start there, Brendan. Let's talk about your kind of growing up in the youth sports space. Cool stories here. Tell us what you played, when you started, who you played for, all of that.
I started in soccer. Was my first at a young age, and that was kind of my main thing. My dad was a soccer fan, so he put me in soccer. Then I moved houses out to the Brighton area. My next door neighbor, big baseball guy, he was about my age, so I got into baseball around seven to 8 years old, and went straight into kid pitch and everything with the bighorns. With there's turned out to be some good guys on that team. Brock Eddy, D1 pitcher, and Dre.
Yeah. So those of you who don't know, Brighton's in Colorado. So the Brighton Bighorns, was kind of a powerhouse at the time. I think Ty Thompson, who's soon to be a Division I pitcher, Brock Eddy's at Arizona State, now at Wichita State. Dre Wagner, was Walker Martin on that team at some point too?
Walker.
Oh no, Walker was never on there. Okay, cool. But yeah, you definitely had some.
But those guys.
Go ahead.
Those guys went on to play with Walker, and
yeah, they went on to play with Walker
over at Slammers with.
Yeah,
that was a great team.
Yeah, which I
finished playing high school with those guys too.
Which I just learned. I was like, "Hey, Brendan, how old are you?" And he's like, "I'm 20 years old." And he started telling me his background, and he's like, "Yeah, I know your son." Which I was like, "Hey, wait a second. How do you know Ashton?" So pretty cool. So all right, so you played at Brighton, or you played with Brighton Bighorns. Then what happened after that?
I bounced around a couple of travel ball teams a year or two before high school. Played for the Rocky Scout team. Got some cool experiences there. Arizona Fall Classics, big tournament that you guys ever went
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
That was one of my favorite tournaments. Some really good baseball played there. Kind of some added pressure. There's scouts floating around all the time. But yeah, I love that part. And after that, I was pretty much, I guess I would travel for the summer, but high school baseball, I really enjoyed high school baseball. I played with those same guys that I grew up playing with in Brighton. I went to Brighton High School. So yeah, I went to high school with Brock and Dre and all those guys. It was fun being with those guys that I was with since a young age. We just had like a deep chemistry that made it a lot of fun.
Anthony Trado too, right? He was part of that group, right? Yeah, it's another great pitcher.
Sure.
Yeah, your guy. That's awesome. Yeah. All right, so then had a really good club career, had a really good high school career, played sports. Sports is part of your life, and then then what happens?
Yeah, so I always, I think every athlete's dream is to play at that next level. And so that was what I always envisioned for myself and aspired to do. So going into my senior year of high school, um, didn't have any offers at all. But a lot of friends played football as well. And that was, being a baseball player. That's pretty peak off season there in the fall. So I thought it would be cool to just make them some highlight reels for football. And so I borrowed one of my friend's mom's cameras sideline to our high school football games. I would just make some pretty crappy highlight reels, but I enjoyed doing it. Um, Kind of discovered a passion that I didn't really know I had um, for video and just spots in the creative field. So then that same year, a couple months later in December, a primetime Deion Sanders got the coaching job at Colorado and brought his Louis luggage, as he called it, and uh, brought all his good guys from Jackson State over to Colorado. One of those being the now Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter. And at the time, he was big still, number one recruit in the country for football out of high school. And yeah, so he was hosting a meet and greet kind of event. Anyone who went to the CU Rec Center with him, the time he posted, could play some 5-on-5 basketball with him. And he thought it'd be a good way to connect with the community, have some fun. And so I thought that'd be a good opportunity for me to get a big name, a big image in the sports world out on my page.
Oh, no, so hold
And
on. Let me
so
let me
then,
let me let me interrupt you there and let me pause there. You just said you did a bunch of crappy highlight reels for I think guys that we know, right? Marcus Romero, who's great football player at Brookfield High School, but now a Division I baseball player from Northern Illinois. Brandon Sanchez, great football player, but is a Division I baseball player for UNC Greeley. Derek Olson, who's been a catcher in the college ranks right now. All right, so you're making crappy like reels for them. How do you feel like, man, I have this ability. I'm gonna make this jump from free reels to going working with one of the best, potentially one of the best football players,
yeah,
maybe ever. We'll see how this goes.
yeah. I mean, going there, I don't think I had any intention of ending up working for Travis, but I would also say, at the time, me getting into video, I didn't like knowing what I know now, looking back, those were some pretty crappy reels. But at the time, I'm like, all right, these are
Okay,
okay.
okay.
And, I'm just getting into it. So I'm like, I'm having fun with the whole thing and I'm enjoying it. So, um, yeah, I went there just to, I don't know, just put myself out there, I guess, and get a big name on my page, like I said. And while I was there, he was actually with another big influencer, Destroying, who has a unique story. I don't want to get into it too much, but he was an ex-college football player. He got kicked out of college for making money on YouTube since that was pre-NIL
You're right.
era. But he was a big football creator, and I watched him growing up. So I went up to him and I asked him if I could mic him up to get some footage of him interacting with the fans, and he has a big following, so that would be good. Yeah, he's got like 5 million subscribers on YouTube, so that would be some good content for me. And he denied me and was like, "No, I'm just trying to hang out with everyone and not worry about what I say and stuff like that." But Travis actually heard me ask and was like, "Hey, like you should mic me up and get some content for my YouTube channel." And I was like, "Cool, like let's do it." And the initial exchange was supposed to be I'll give him everything I filmed, and he would shout me out on his YouTube channel, and that would be a good publicity for me, and it would give him some good content. So that was our agreement. And then later that night, after the event, he DM'd me on Instagram and was like, "Hey, like, do you have time to do a quick FaceTime real quick? I want to talk to you about, like the footage you got." So I'm like kind of freaking out a little bit, like Travis Hunter is about to FaceTime me. And yeah, calls me, he's like, "Hey, like I would love if you could just make this video for me, um, like as a whole." And I'd never made long form content before, never mind for that big of an audience. But I wasn't gonna back down from the challenge. So I accepted it and I said, "Yeah, like I'll make you the video." And yeah, I posted it about a week later. Got just short of 1 million views on YouTube, which was one of his biggest videos at the time. I think it was second to his recruiting announcement video where he flipped to Jackson State. I think that was the only video that topped the video that I made for him. And so, yeah, after that, he was like, "I want you to come work for me, basically, and do all my social content and stuff like that." And so going back to my athletic career, I finished that spring playing baseball in high school. I was still in high school. And so I played that season out and had thoughts of going JUCO and pursuing the game that I still love, but just felt that I had a better opportunity in this new path that I just discovered with Travis. And so I went in on that instead of the JUCO route. So here I am about 2.5 years later, now in Jacksonville with the Jaguars and his new team.
That's just an unbelievable story. So we're gonna have to take a quick break here for our sponsor here, Operation Player Assist. But let me kind of cue you up for a question and make sure we're clear on some things. Right? It's like, man, you took huge risks, like one after the other, right? So you went from, hey, I'll do some free football reels for my high school buddies, and then I'm gonna do some, try to go and do a free thing over with, this meet and greet with Deion Sanders and everyone at CU. And then you're like, hey, I'll do a free thing for Travis Hunter. And then I'm going to do another free thing for Travis Hunter. And it blows up and it gets 1 million views. So we're going to take a quick break, but think about this question before we go is how did sports in general, right? Everything leading up to Brighton Bighorns, all your time playing in sports, how did that prepare you for you taking those risks and the role that you're currently in today? So hang tight on that. We'll be right back.
As we're talking about the challenges coaches face with young athletes, it reminds me of something that affects every youth sports organization, the administrative nightmare that can pull coaches away from actually coaching. I recently spoke with Jennifer from the Riverside Youth Soccer League, and she told me something that really stuck with me. She said, "We were spending more time managing registrations and chasing down forms than we were developing players." Sound familiar? That's exactly why organizations across the country are turning to OperationPlayerAssist.com. They specialize in handling all those behind-the-scenes headaches that eat up your time. Registration systems that actually work, automated communication tools that keep parents informed without blowing up your phone, and emergency response protocols that give you confidence when things go sideways. Jennifer's League saw immediate results. Registration time cut in half, parent complaints about communication dropped to almost zero, and here's the best part. Coaches could focus on coaching instead of paperwork. If you are tired of administrative chaos stealing time from what really matters, developing young athletes, I encourage you to schedule a free 15-minute demo with the team at OperationPlayerAssist.com. See firsthand how they can streamline your operation. Visit OperationPlayerAssist.com and click Schedule Demo to book your 15-minute consultation, because when the administrative burden is lighter, everyone wins. Coaches, parents, and most importantly, the kids. OperationPlayerAssist.com, supporting the game behind the game.
Okay, we are back. Appreciate the time there from our sponsor, Operation Player Assist. So Brandon, the question I posed to you was, how did sports prepare you for those risks that you took and the position that you're in today?
Yeah, I mean, I think, um, in general in sports, I would say you take risks a lot, and I think, I think some big things for me was situations where you put yourself in an uncomfortable spot and learning how to be comfortable while being uncomfortable. Makes sense. And I think baseball in particular is one of those sports that puts a lot of pressure on you as an individual, although it's a team sport. You're when you're hitting, you're at the plate. No one can help you. You're in the box, you versus the pitcher. That's it. I played middle infield pretty much my whole life, so you know, screaming ground balls coming at you. No one can help you. It's just you versus the ball right there. So I think that in itself um, kind of helps you thrive in a position that you're uncomfortable in a sport where also um, hitting 300 or getting hit 3 out of 10 times is considered great. Um, just having the ability to fail and knowing how to bounce back from it, I think is something that I really took into my field. I think you can apply to really all aspects of life. And that's one of the reasons I love the game of baseball for sure.
Excellent. So definitely sets you up for taking those risks. You had some awesome calculated risk. It's worked out pretty well for you, or really well for you, actually. So, all right. So let's rewind a little bit. So there's kind of basically a 2-year gap now that we need to fill in. So you did some free stuff there for Travis. He played 2 years at CU. What were you doing for him over the last 2 years before you officially, he gets drafted and before you make the jump down to move into Jacksonville with him?
Yeah, so pretty much right off the bat, we just started coming up with content ideas. What YouTube videos we can make. I'd brainstorm ideas. He was super involved with the whole thing. He was all in on the content. Um, so generating ideas for content, I would film and edit all the content that we made. So it was anything from a house tour to I went to all his Colorado games, home and away, um, off-season training videos, fishing videos. He loves to
Yeah.
fish. Um, so yeah, I would pretty much we always aim to do 1 to 2 videos a week. So that's been um, that's what we've tried to do for the past 2.5 years is get out YouTube videos as much as we can. Make content that people enjoy, show how great of a person Travis is, help control the narrative of who he is as a person, because what I've come to learn a lot is these professional athletes that get put in such a big light often get put in the wrong light just in the eyes of the media, and they convey them some type of way when they're not that type of person at all. They're actually a really great person. People don't know them personally and just assume the worst. So I think him doing YouTube has been a great part in improving his image as a whole too. So
So it's safe to say that any video that I've seen of Travis over the last couple of years, you've played either a role in it or have just edited and done the whole thing. That's
yeah,
awesome.
obviously you got the Fox and everyone there's the football games, but other than that, it's a lot of it's me. And our stuff gets clipped on to NCAA's page, ESPN, Sports Center, um, yeah, Sports Illustrated. You name it. They all use a lot of my footage. and stuff like that.
So if people want to go and check this out and see this content, what's the YouTube page that they should go look at?
Travis Hunter is the YouTube
It's just
channel.
straight up Travis Hunter.
His personal channel. Yep. Everything, excluding maybe 1 or 2 videos over the past 2.5 years, have all been shot and edited by me. So it's a lot of my work's up on that.
That's great. And I heard, and so finish up the CU career there. He goes into the draft, and were you there with him during the draft, pre-draft, post-draft, during the draft, everything?
Yeah, that off season was pretty hectic. He had just come off what turned out to be his Heisman winning season. So I was at the Heisman ceremony in New York City. That was an unreal experience. Not many people at all get to do that, so I was very blessed to experience that. And he had quite a few other accolades, so we went all over the country, picked up each of his awards, and filmed his speeches and everything like that. And it was cool to see how the different committees for the different awards hosted their event compared to, the next award that we went to. It was cool. There was a kind of a different vibe to all of them. And then spent the rest of the time in Texas while he was training, getting ready for the draft. And then I went to Green Bay for the draft. Maybe it could have been a more exciting city, but incredibly blessed to be able to go to the draft. I was in the green room. I will say the fan base in Green Bay is unreal, so that definitely elevated the draft, and it was a super cool experience. That's once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah, I typically ask people on a podcast like this, what's the coolest, most memorable sporting experience you ever had? I guess it's got to be one of those, or is it something within your playing career?
I mean, obviously those career moments for yourself are super personal and something you can't replicate, I would say. But a lot of people ask me if I wish I was playing in college. I mean, I do, but I never reached the level that I had hoped to get to, which a lot of, like you said, the 90% doesn't. And, but to be able to go this alternate route and get to see what it's like to be an athlete at the highest level and to sit in firsthand to these pro workouts and something as big as the NFL draft and those emotions that the athletes go through that night, their dreams are coming true as I don't know what the pro percentage is, the 1%. Yeah. And just to see those guys and their families, I mean, it was definitely, there's nothing like it.
I bet. That's amazing. That's amazing. And so, all right, so then draft takes place, drafted by Jacksonville, moved to Jacksonville. He asked you to come along with him. What do you kind of bring us up to date to where you are today and what the future might bring you now?
Yeah, so, I mean, night after, stayed in Green Bay that night, flew to Jacksonville the next day for his kind of official visit here to Jacksonville, if you will. Toured the facility, met the coaching staff, everything like that. And then found a place down here, got moved in, and we've done, a lot of off-season training stuff. Got to film some workouts with Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr., some super crazy athletes down here. And I think some other projects. Done a lot of brand work for him. He works with a lot of companies. I'm sure you've seen him on maybe some. But I've done some of his brand work that he shoots. Like we just had a Clash of Clans video game. Vita Coco, coconut water. I did a Sports Illustrated shoot. yeah, just kind of stuff like that, and getting him ready for the season is it's been super cool. It's pretty surreal. Like, he's become one of my best friends, so I don't see him as like the Travis Hunter super, like, once in a generational talent anymore. Like, that's one of my closest friends, so it's pretty surreal now to just think he's about to take on my favorite players in the NFL and about to go head to head with all of them. It's pretty crazy. I
That's
can't
awesome.
wait.
And so how does the business side of it, it's great you guys are friends, but how does the business side of this work? Is it something where he wants you to be exclusive with him, or are you able to work with other clients?
Yeah, I mean, he's super supportive of me, and he just wants to see me thrive in every way possible. So, um, obviously, I mean, I have a priority for him and a sense of loyalty to him. But, um, I mean, yeah, anything I could pick up on the side, he's like, go do it,
Hmm.
you know. Anything that could help me in my portfolio or just make me some extra money, is he's all for it. I mean, he's a great
And
guy.
and do you see yourself, if you were to pick up some other clients, do you think they'll be in the sporting industry, or are you really open to to doing anything?
I would say I'm open for sure, but I mean, just something about sports is just, I don't know. It's special,
Hmm.
you know. Being able, I mean, some of the moments I've captured, I would say my favorite moments that I've captured as a videographer have been in the sports world. Um, and those moments are just the emotion and like the passion and everything. It's just like the story is so strong, which is I think, very hard to find something that compares to that at that level, outside of
Yeah, you might be
sports.
spoiled a little bit though.
Yeah, I do for sure.
So how is this the first time that you've been on this side of the camera?
Not the first, but one of
Okay.
the first. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm always, I don't know what to do. You know, everyone makes it seem so natural just talking to a camera, but like, I don't know. It's a little strange. I feel like talking to a camera, but it's so big these days. You know,
Yeah.
everyone does it. And I want to make content for myself, and I need to, I think it'd be awesome to do some behind the scenes stuff. You know, filming an NFL game if I have the privilege to do that. I think that'd be some super cool stuff that people, in general, and people in my field would love to see. Um, so I think talking on camera is definitely one of those things I need to improve on. But
Yeah, that
try
would
my
be a pretty
best.
interesting take, right? Is to have someone videoing you, videoing a game, and kind of just showing your story of everything that goes on, kind of behind the scenes of filming, say, a Travis Hunter video. So that would be actually a pretty cool thing. So how do people get a hold of you? So let's just say there's someone listening to this right now that says, "Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to, and tell Brandon's story for Brandon while he's, videoing Travis." How do they get a hold of you?
I mean, I'd say the best way is just to find me on Instagram, send me a direct message. I try to answer all my direct messages. It's at Strait, Strait dot media with two A's at the end.
Excellent.
Uh,
And
but yeah,
we'll put that up when we post it as
anyone.
well.
Yes, sir.
All
Yeah,
right, couple more questions for you, and we'll get you off the hot seat. Um,
yes, sir.
I'm sure over the course of these, maybe even the last 4 years, what's some of the best advice people have provided you? Could be coaches, could be guys like Travis, or those that you've been surrounding yourself. I mean, you surround yourself with some pretty high level people that have had a ton of success. What's some great advice that you've received over the course of your career?
Um, that's a tough one. I would say one of the things that, um, one of probably my favorite coach that I've had in my lifetime would always tell me is to not don't be too focused on the highs or the lows. Like, don't get caught in the highs or the lows. Don't be a prisoner of the present. and focus on what's coming next. So, you make an error on the field, what are you gonna do instead of dwell on that error? And then at the same time, you have a 4-for-4 game, then you go in to play the next game, and I mean, it's always good to have confidence, absolutely, but don't go in there thinking you're unbeatable, because baseball is that type of game, as well as a lot of other sports that'll humble you very, very quickly. So I think that was some good advice that, also applies to life. But I would say the biggest takeaway that I think about every day is probably from Travis. He always preaches, as simple as it sounds, don't let what anybody says get to you. Don't care about what other people think. Do what makes you happy. And as cliche as that is, to see him, to hear the words is one thing, but to see him live that claim is I don't know if you'd say inspiring, but it definitely connects to you on another level, because just being in that big of a light and seeing the kind of backlash that he gets constantly, as I know how great of a person he really is. But for him to just come in day in, day out with a big smile on his face and have like the most positive energy out of maybe anybody I've ever met, despite what anybody has to say about him, is just truly like, it's unbelievable. So I try to take that into my life as a whole. And, I see a bad comment on one of the YouTube videos I make, and I let it ruin my whole
Yeah.
day. Thinking like, even second guessing myself, am I in the right field? Like, am I good enough to be making videos at this scale? It's crazy, you'll pass dozens of positive comments, and then you'll see that one and it just nullifies all of them, and it just ruins your day. So that was a big thing for me at the beginning, but seeing him, that I've taken away from him, is definitely something that I try to live every day.
Yeah, and it clearly seems that you are. You have a smile on your face. You're loving what you're doing. You're enjoying every day. You're clearly not a prisoner of your present, as you said, which I love that phrase. I'm going to use it in the future. So yeah, kudos to you for listening to some great advice, taking it to heart, and executing on it as well. Maybe one last question here then. So, do you see yourself giving back to the sport that that helps you get to where you are today, whether that be physically ever coaching or financially, or do you see yourself giving back to the sport?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I always thought it would be fun to have a little league team with, some you talk about hard to make come to life. But me and my buddies, Brandon and all of them, that we had talked about earlier, always thought it'd be the coolest thing in the world to have a little league team with all our sons on it and coach it. I think that would be the most fun experience ever. But even just what I can do, what I love in my field and the ability that I have, just going out to put a spotlight on the athletes, to make them video. One, seeing them enjoy it is obviously a great feeling, but to be able to give them a platform and put them in a light that, there's a lot of great athletes that don't get recognized. Whether that be because they don't have the money to get to these big showcases and everything like that. Because nowadays that's a lot of what it takes is pay to play. But so I think that's a hidden beauty in what I do. I would love to go out and shed some light on some hidden talent, because there's so much of it out there, and if kids just get one opportunity, there's so many that would take it and run, and would never look back.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was kind of getting dreamy a little bit there, envisioning all you guys, like everyone that we just mentioned, the Brocks, the Brandons, the Marcuses, all their kids running around. That would be an amazing, not only baseball team but a football team as well. So awesome. And then you're pimping them out in highlight reels. That could be a lot of fun. All right. I promise. Last question. Absolutely last question. No matter what. So I was just thinking about that, and the last is like, going back to how we started this conversation of, we spend a lot of time talking about all the guys that go into college and pro ball and coaching and all that, and you're not that, right? And so, from a leadership standpoint, what do you think that maybe guys like me who coach, other coaches, other leaders in sports, what's mistakes are they making? With kids in sports in general?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there's always a lot to improve on, but I think one of the main points that I would say would be that every athlete is different, and the ability to connect with the athlete and get through to them the message that you're trying to prove might look different for one athlete than it will for the next athlete. And I've had some coaches that are real stern and it's their way or no way at all. I've had some coaches that, it's definitely good to have a principle, assert dominance as a coach, to have your players respect you, of course, but to be able to connect with them and get through to them and listen to what they have to say too is what I think builds that player coach bond stronger than anything. And I would say just allow the athlete to be heard, for sure, is a big thing I think a lot of coaches could take and learn from and thrive off of, really. That's
excellent advice. I appreciate that, and appreciate you jumping on here. You have an amazing story to tell, and appreciate you sharing that with us. Remember Brandon Strait on Instagram at strait.media with 2 A's there. Also on TikTok at strait.media. Just 1 A on that one, right? All right. And then go check out that Travis Hunter YouTube channel, knowing that Brandon's played a massive role in pretty much all of that. Anything else to add to the show here?
No, I would just thank you for having me on, and thank you for what you're doing. I think it's great, what you got going on. So
absolutely appreciate it, and looking forward to talking to you and working with you again in the future. Take care, Brandon.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.